we'll look at trends, for cafeterias, trends for parking, to try and say, okay, how many people are in the building? What are we doing for conference rooms? Anything you can do to kind of track and maximize utilization of the assets, because we do a lot of events in our buildings, both in some of our technical centers as well as our general offices. Big events, conferences, some internal, some external, and so our demand is kind of all over the place from that standpoint. So if we're able to track and see what's going on, it's helpful. But with some of those traditional work patterns have changed so dramatically, and again, that's because you see the technology and you see people leveraging it, and they may come in on a Friday for a couple meetings, but they might come in after rush hour's done, and then a work group decides, hey, Tuesday's our day. We're all going to come in on, make sure everyone's here on Tuesday because we want to collaborate. So you just see these peaks and valleys where it used to be a very obvious trend peaking up on a Wednesday. Mondays were crazy, but that isn't the case anymore. It's really interesting how work patterns have changed in the company.
Yeah, that is interesting. How often is the headquarters complex full? Is it ever full anymore?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So where we actually see the peaks are where we have, big events. Product supply might have an event, or our baby care, our beauty care. We like to bring kind of the external in. So those would be our peak days. You go in, cafeterias, workspace, conference rooms. Usually it's the large conference rooms that are in demand. We try and do as much as we can internally because it's cost effective. So you'll see events in lobbies, you'll see it in hallways, cafeterias. Anything we can do to kind of maximize that is fun.
Do you ever see a day when P&G will need a smaller footprint downtown?
Yeah, I'll just say yeah, sure. I mean, I think when
you look far away from that?
I don't think we're any different than other corporations. When you look at, most big corporations are going to be looking at space utilization, and you might show yourself you're full as people assigned to the space, but then when you look at utilization, it might look completely different on is that workspace really used. So again, that's leveraging technology, and sure, we've been heading in that trend for a while. Now what we've historically seen is, we might free up some space and then somebody moves into, we might consolidate into Cincinnati, etc. That's why we historically, if you looked at our footprint here, it's gone up and down a little bit, but it's been relatively consistent. You can historically look at our population in this area, and it hasn't changed too dramatically over the years. It's had its ups and downs and its peaks and valleys, but it's not historically that different, or today it's not too different than it was historically.